The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Do not adjust your dials, boys and girls. How are you? We are live and we are early today. How are you on this Tuesday? The Bostonian versus the Book is live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book. The same on Twitter, X at Boston versus the Book. Sports Grid TV's got the replay for TV. Sirius XM, channel 159. You've got the replay on the radio. We, Dave, have a lot to get to. How are you on this Tuesday? Torpedo bats are still the rage.
Yeah, losing my mind. It's already, listen, it's early, okay, boys and girls. It's really early out west. Matt is back east and indoctrinated into East Coast time.
Yep.
It's early out west. It's April Fool's. I ain't playing on Twitter today. I ain't even opening up. I posted one clip of us talking about prediction markets. I got your prediction market right here. We started the show early today. So get on board, get in the chat, say something. We'll be here for the next 1 hour and 40 minutes. Hard out. We got Noah Hiles from the Post-Gazette, the Pittsburgh Pirates beat reporter. He'll join us. Met Noah in person down at spring training, and he's, watching the show and, talking about baseball.
Good.
Going to ask him about watching a game in the minor league ballpark, which he did yesterday, and Pirates in Tampa. We'll talk about the Cubs and what they did in Oakland. We got baseball. We got all kinds of stuff. P-Roll, I've been going nonstop since about 5 this morning when I posted that video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of us talking about prediction markets. There's a lot of people in the space that are talking about this right now. You know that.
Well, what? About the topic or about us? Or both?
Well, I think they're talking about the topic,
Yeah.
but they were talking about us talking about.
Because nobody wants to touch it because there are numerous networks that are trying to figure out whether or not it's going to be an advertising stream for them. So they're scared to talk about it because they don't want to make an enemy of what could be a company that has very deep pockets. So I think it's a no-go zone for most people. Now, we don't normally pay attention to that. We're going to talk about things we want to talk about. And, well, we don't really care what happens afterwards. It's just how it is. This is the nature of the show, that this is a major topic that we think needs to be addressed and needs to be talked about. And one of the most rewarding things about this show for me is that we talk about things that nobody else wants to talk about in the space. We'll talk about games. We'll talk about bets. We don't really give a crap about your record or my record or your record, anyone's record, but we don't really, we'll mention it once in a while. But the prediction market conversation is one of the cool things that I think separates our show, that we talk about the business of sports gambling as much as sports gambling. And the prediction market conversation, there is nothing hotter right now in the, risk rooms and the behind the scenes and on state houses around the country about what the hell is going on. And we'll get to it later in the show, but it sure feels like the judges are taking one look at this and they have a pretty quick answer. Like, it's a pretty quick, well,
something's going on tomorrow. We don't have a show tomorrow, but there's a hearing or something tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, in New Jersey. So they filed different lawsuits, right? So Ohio sent a cease and desist letter yesterday. So there's 3 states now that are sending it to Calshi, Nevada and New Jersey, the other 2. And so the lawsuit from Calshi against Nevada and against New Jersey, that's what we talked about yesterday, about they're now changing their tone as to what they say they are, as to why they are suing the states for what they claim, what the states are claiming that they are. We're all trying to define what is. What is gambling? That's the whole crux of this conversation. And so Calshi may be getting some bad news tomorrow, because by all the legal people, that if a lawyer says, now we're not even hearing things, I just want written briefs and the judge turns around and says, well, we're going to have a hearing on the 7th, but actually I'm going to give you some news on the 2nd. Sounds like the judge is just going to go and say, yeah, we're not doing this, guys. This is already settled law. Like, we don't need to go through all of this.
It's crazy because they've been sending cease and desist orders down south for a while now. Like,
True, they have.
Places get these cease and desist things, and now they're getting them right here. So it's a very fluent, flowing situation. It's constantly changing. It's constantly being addressed, but not. Markets are being put up, bets are being taken, and I think they're being settled. At least there was some interesting things happening with that Crown basketball tournament that we'll get to as well.
Pause that.
And I mean, it's all over the place. So it's kind of like the show. Like, today's early start. Tomorrow there's no show. We'll be back as normal on Thursday this week. I don't know. I just know that, like, you know, Ruddick writes a great newsletter. You guys, if you're into this stuff, you can follow and go subscribe to Ruddick's newsletter. I do. Matt does. A lot of people in the industry do. He's talking about it.
Straight to the point, it's called.
Yeah. And Brubaker is constantly tweeting about it. Alfonso put an unbelievable tweet out yesterday at Alfonso Straffen, at A Straffen, talking about what this is. This is a book. I thought the soundbite was perfect. The clip was perfect. What is this? It's a book. It is a book. Yeah.
WV Punch Drunk. I would agree. Gambling is like porn. I know it when I see it. It's true. It's you know, it's there. I think there's going to be a really interesting summer about because everyone's going to gear up to football season. And I think they have a couple of months to determine whether or not this stuff really can be legalized or not. And if it goes legal, the problem, I think, for all the states who are going to expect not just the tax revenue, but also just the revenue cycle to kick through, the licenses and everything else they expect to be able to draw from, these books are not going to do this. They're going to take, they're going to take the path of least resistance. And if you give them this gray area to go and live in, they're going to go live in it. And I think if I'm a New Jersey, if I'm a Nevada, if I'm a Colorado, if I'm one of these states that have had sports betting for a long time, it's a big concern of like, wait a minute, you're going to circumvent every law, every rule, everything that we've put into place, from consumer protection to, problem gaming, all of the things that we've put into place, all these safeguards that we have spent are some people, their whole career setting up when it comes to gaming in America. And you're going to just go ahead and completely wipe that out. Yeah. That is, I mean, it's unacceptable, to be quite honest. It's unacceptable. It can't happen.
It's definitely it's not April Fool's. This is not. I mean, we have a way, and I guess I've done this my whole life. It's like taking something serious and not making light of it, but not dumbing it down either. Just making it understood. For, like, the expression, speak to me like I'm 7. We'll try to speak to everybody like they're 7 so they understand it. I don't know if everyone understands this. I don't know if I fully understand it. I don't know if you fully understand it.
No, because we're not lawyers.
We can talk about it. We're not lawyers. 100%. Let's get that right off the top. Not a lawyer.
But
could have been.
But this guy is. Okay.
Daniel Wallach is. Yes, he is.
Daniel Wallach is. And I'll just read this. This is from his LinkedIn page, and he's been doing great work on this topic on his LinkedIn page, saying, just in a hearing on Kalshi's motion for a temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction in New Jersey for the sports prediction lawsuit has been scheduled for Wednesday, April the 2nd at 2:30 p.m. Eastern before Judge Edward S. Keel in Courtroom D at the Camden Courthouse. The New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement and other New Jersey defendants may file an informal letter brief in response to Kalshi's motion by 4 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. The case is moving quickly. The quick turnaround on the hearing is somewhat surprising, considering that the DGE, that's the Division of Gaming Enforcement, and Kalshi had reached an agreement to extend the deadline on the cease and desist letter through Monday, April 7th. If it seems somewhat disproportionate that New Jersey gets only 1 day in a mere letter brief to respond to Cauchy's 26-page motion, which probably took several days to prepare, that should give you an early window into what the judge may think of the merits of Cauchy's case, which basically means there isn't any merit to this.
Wow.
So it could be open and shut from a judge perspective, saying this is already settled law. Close it up. Move on. I got other things to worry about, guys.
Right.
So
wow.
That might be that might be a problem for Cauchy as they go forward with this, just given how quickly this judge is going to hear what's happening.
I wonder if they enclosed in the brief the statement yesterday about it being really a
sure.
must-have need to have prediction markets for
that was
that
the
rallying cry.
Really was. That was unbelievable.
That was
just
go back and watch and listen to the show if you missed yesterday's show, because Matt read it and I just felt like there should be a music bed underneath it. And if I was, into the content as much as some other people, I would make my own music, build up. It would be something like the music from, Al Pacino's speech in Any Given Sunday. We would just build it up and we talk about fighting for that inch and all that other stuff that he was talking about. I mean, I was inspired, not really, but I don't know.
Mikey. Which song on Any Given Sunday would you play? Inch by Inch or the speech?
The speech. It would have to be the speech. Yeah. And, I made mistakes, when he starts doing that. And
well, I got the speech.
That's
3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today.
So we got that.
Or tomorrow for them, April 2nd. We can fight for that inch.
Because, there's all sorts of different songs on this as to like, we could run through the whole, soundtrack of Any Given Sunday. It's,
well, it's Any Given Wednesday for them tomorrow. So
right.
They are, and again, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it seems like, again, we're in this echo chamber of where is this business? What is this business? Nobody can even or wants to define what gambling is, which is fascinating because it's gambling. It walks like a duck. It talks like a duck. It's a duck. It's a book. Market makers, bookmakers. You change one word, half of a word. It makes it this. It makes it that. It's fascinating to watch, at least, from Vegas and from people that have been in the business a very long time. And people like Alex Kane he chimed in, on the Twitter as well, like talking about where it's going and where it's at.
I don't know if we know where it's going. Like, I think that there's such a problem right now for anybody who's in the space going, wait, I raised millions to play by the rules, to do what you told me to do, to play in this current environment. And you're going to tell me it was all for nothing?
Yeah.
That I didn't have to do that? I could have just opened up in California, Texas, every major state and not had to, I didn't have to worry about anything. I didn't have to have 100 lawyers on retainer. I didn't have to have every, I dotted and T crossed. I could just open up a predictive market and say, well, it's for the greater good of America, and do like this patriotic thing of where are we going and how are we gonna save the world?
All this stuff that you went through, when I went to West Virginia, I had to go get licensed by the West Virginia Lottery, right? And you had to go through this procedure and do this. Every guy that I know that worked in a risk room that was multi-states had to get licensed by somebody in that state. Cauchy's licensed apparently in every state. Everybody should have just went to the CFTC.
There is no license. There was no license.
Which would have just been, we just would have got right to the chase. We could have just put up the line on Duke Houston and just said, here we go. Here, this is awesome. They are some great people, Chef Benny. down at the West Virginia Lottery. It was an unbelievably good process, to be perfectly honest. It was a very smooth process.
It was very smooth.
Yeah. I don't know. The boys are all gathering in the chat. This is great to see on an early morning. Somebody hit the like button, please, on the way out.
Let me see if I can pull this. Let me see if I can pull this off. If I can pull this off. Can you hear the music?
A little closer. There you go.
Okay. Kalshi just filed suit in federal court against the states of Nevada and New Jersey. As promised, Kalshi will keep fighting for the right of prediction markets to thrive. Over the last decade, the concept of objective truth has been dangerously eroded by aggressive politicization and rampant misinformation and biased journalism. Without the ability to agree on some of the basics, and without truth, we are blind. A society evolving without direction, endlessly debating into itself into oblivion. Prediction markets have proven themselves to be the antidote. They mobilize the most elegant and effective properties of free financial markets towards the pursuit of unbiased truth. They are the quintessential truth machines. With trust in traditional institutions at an all-time low, people are turning to prediction markets at an astronomical pace. The growth of the ecosystem in last years is a testament to how important they have become to the American people. We need prediction markets now more than ever.
Bam! America.
That's the CEO.
Wow.
Of Kalshi,
Man.
Tarek Mansour. So, yeah.
That's how we start the morning, boys. That's how we start the morning. We'll get to what happened last night. We'll get the favorite thing about today.
I should remove my hand.
Right? Hand over heart. Let's go. Right? I put on the BVB brigade hat with the American flag. Perfect timing.
I mean, yeah, I need to put me behind with an American flag backdrop. That's right.
Right.
We need prediction markets now. Give me prediction markets or give me death. Like I'm in New Hampshire. Why not? Right? I mean, it's
what is it? What's it? Live free or die up there?
Yep,
right.
Live free or die.
Live free or die.
State. That's on the license plate. Live
Show may be over after today anyway. We're never getting off late night, so we'll see how this goes.
I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, I think it's one of the most amazing posts that I've seen.
Yeah.
We are left with no choice. Sue.
Yeah. Literally said that. I mean, they didn't even make that up. You say some crazy stuff on the show. That is a direct quote.
Yes.
We are left with no choice. Sue.
Sue.
Yeah. It's the betting tea party. Chicago. John.
That's a great line.
It is. Yeah.
Our founding fathers had no taxation without representation. We need predictive markets.
Damn. Right?
It's unbelievable. Like it's just. I mean, the grandstanding is outrageous. I want to know what they're gonna. Are they gonna say that to a judge? Is that going to be their line about? The growth of the ecosystem in last year is a testament to how important they've become to the American people. We need prediction markets now more than ever.
Yeah, throw the bet slips into the harbor, Mikey.
That's a great line.
Boy, guys, this is why we do the show. The chat is ingenious with stuff.
That's true,
man.
We need Sam, the American Eagle from the Muppets, reading that statement.
Josie Myers working overtime with that one. This is great.
We need the guy that does Nathan hot dog eating contest announcing that. Yeah, that's true.
I think he's out of our budget, but we can try him. We can come on the show and do it.
King George minus 10,000 versus the Rebels. That's too good. Daniel G, so are we. It's unbelievable. It's one of those conversations. Yeah, give me Couchy or give me death.
Oh, there we go, Vinny. Good job, Vinny. Oh man.
Like, what are we doing? Like, I think if you obviously our show is more specific and more niche than others, but like, I think if you walk down the street and you ask somebody, what is this? They're going to be like, well, it's a gambling book, right? No, it's not a book. They're claiming your liberty is tied to this.
Yeah.
What do you mean my liberty is tied to this? No, your liberty, they believe that America needs prediction markets to be successful. Like, if you take this away, we're now, don't tread on me. We're now infringing on your rights. To do.
I'm good with people taking the other side of bets. Like, these social platforms have allowed people to take the other side of bets. So there is no house, and that's what they keep saying. But when you are the house and you're making the markets, you need to kind of somewhat play by the rules. It just doesn't seem like they're playing by the rules. That's all. If you're not going to play by the rules, then everybody doesn't play by the rules. And then we have no rules, and Robert rules of order are completely, everything's out of order. You're out of order. He's out of order. You're all out of order. And then nobody knows, you don't even know where bets are. What are we doing?
You know what's funny about this, though, because we'll talk about the Pirates here in a second. We haven't heard from Pennsylvania. They were pretty aggressive in the beginning. I mean, they're the ones that put the $10 million price tag on the license fee, and that blew everyone's hair back. They're like, how much? And then everyone paid it. And they're like, oh, wait a minute, everyone paid it.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised we haven't heard from Pennsylvania when it comes to Kalshi, and they haven't gotten involved. It's just been Nevada and New Jersey, now Ohio, that are involved. I assume Pennsylvania will get involved at some point.
I would assume so. I would assume so.
I regret they only have one predictive market to give for my country.
Bravo Camp in the chat, looking good with his BVB hat. There's Chicago Kristen. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of better. Guys,
ask not what predictive markets can do for you, but what you can do for predictive markets.
I mean, seriously, Mikey, this is great. This is great. If you started the show late, go back and rewind it. I mean, this will get you very, very, feeling proud and patriotic this morning. My goodness, what the hell are we doing?
I pledge allegiance to the equal and correct betting trends and predictive BVB of America.
And this is our Canadian guy. One snap. Way to go. This is good. One snap.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
So, put it on a t-shirt.
Put it on a t-shirt, Daniel G. We got to get them things printed. Oh,
too good.
Gracious. Yeah.
Too good, guys. Absolutely too good. So we'll watch it, obviously.
Before we get to our guy here. This is crazy.
Yeah. Tomorrow we will watch it. Obviously, no show tomorrow, but we will watch the hearing that will happen in New Jersey, and then we'll kind of have a better idea as to the roadmap as to what direction we're going to wind up going in all of this. All right. So let's talk some baseball, and let's talk about what happened with the Pirates, their start to the year. Not great, but they did get a chance to play in that ballpark yesterday. I'll let you introduce Noah, because how did you two meet? Welcome to BVB. Noah, how are you? Matt and Dave on a Tuesday. I got it.
Noah, hello, sir. How are you? This is Matt. This is Noah. BVB Brigade. Hi. Noah. Good to see you, sir. We met in Bradenton, but I feel like we know each other from Twitter. What is your Twitter handle, sir? And I'll tell the people after you give them that why they should be following you on Twitter.
Yeah, my Twitter handle is @_Noah Hiles. That's NOAHHILES.
Stash is perfect. The brigade already loves you because of the stash. But every day you take a minute and post a picture of your seat at the game. And you've done this now for a while. We met because there's a lot of people jealous of your seat. Are you aware of that every day when you post it?
Yeah, and the story behind that's fun. So I started doing that in the pandemic year where I was covering high school sports in 2021. It was when they had what was it called? What's the spacing? I forget. Social distancing. That was it. It's been a while, right? Yeah. So social distancing, they would block off sections in high school basketball games where no one could sit. And that's actually where the press would sit for certain high school games in Pennsylvania. So when I was covering high school sports earlier in my career, I just posted one day a picture of me sitting in the blocked off social distancing area by myself at this high school game with maybe 50 people there because there was limited capacity. It was only parents allowed to go or something. And I just said, I suppose this seat will do. And I just started continuing to do that as I covered high school and then college and now Major League Baseball. It's just been a daily thing. It's kind of a nice way to remember where I started in my career and how far I've gone. It's also just a fun bit that a lot of my followers really enjoy. Some people get annoyed by it, and that makes me like it even more. It's just a nice little thing I do every day when I show up to work to remind myself, hey, you should be happy to be here. This is a seat that a lot of people would like to have.
Amen. Noah, let's talk about the Pirates. The start to the year, obviously, is not what they were looking for. It's a 1-4 start. They were walked off 3 times in the first 3 games. Only the 1924 Pittsburgh Pirates were the other team to have that happen to them in the history of Major League Baseball. What's the vibe around the team? What's the vibe in the clubhouse at the moment to the start 6-1 loss to Tampa yesterday?
It's not good. I mean, this was a team that preached all off season, hey, we're going to win on the margins. We're going to be better fundamentally. We're going to improve our defense, our base running, our late game pitching, and our late game execution, pitch calling. All of these things have plagued this team so far. All of the things that they said they were going to improve upon internally have not looked good. And I get that it's 5 games in, there's 157 more to go. But when you get walked off by any team 3 times in your first 4 games, that's a tough pill to swallow. When it's the Miami Marlins doing it to you, that's even worse. You're wasting quality outings from Bailey Falter, from Paul Skeens, from Andrew Heaney, and your guys that you're banking on in the late innings just aren't looking good right now. I don't want to say they're panicking, but I do think there is some concern because this is probably the worst case scenario for how this season could have started for this team.
Tomorrow's Skeens Day, and it should be almost a national holiday, more than just in Pittsburgh. But, he is the Cy Young candidate and everything that he brings with it. But tonight, you wrote a great article at the Post-Gazette about tonight's starter, Harrington. Tell the people a little bit about Harrington and what you're expecting or the Bucs are expecting tonight, because they're a gigantic underdog today. The Tampa Bay Rays are minus 170 already this morning, and it's going up. So any shot tonight with Harrington pitching well?
This is a guy Pirate fans should be excited about. He's a top 100 prospect in baseball, number 3 in their organization. He almost made the team out of camp. He and Carmen Mlodzinski, the guy who pitched last night, competed for that 5th rotation spot. Mlodzinski got the edge, I just think, because he was already on the 40-man roster. They didn't have to make any corresponding moves to roster him out of camp. But, Shelton said last week when camp broke that Harrington isn't far away. And so he gets the nod here. This is a guy who's going to, I think, pitch a long time in the major leagues. He's a little different than the rest of the Pirates pitching prospects, these young arms that everyone's excited about, the Skeenses, the Jones, the Bubba Chandlers, in the sense that this isn't a high velocity guy. This is a true pitcher. He has 5 pitches that he can throw at any count against any batter. He is very precise. He has a great command of the strike zone, great precision, location, and someone who can pitch to contact, get quick outs. You don't want to compare the kid to like a Greg Maddux, but that's the type of style. Yeah, I'm not saying he is. I'm saying far, no. Yeah, but that's the type of style as he's trying to emulate, like a Roy Oswalt, guys like that who aren't going to blow you away with their stuff, but know how to get outs and can just outsmart hitters. And those guys tend to last a while in this game.
What will the bullpen look like, say, in July, in August, if they don't close out games? Is this team going to go out and try to either elevate AAA, AA arms, make trades? Because it feels like, and this is obviously, we're in Vegas, I'm in Vegas, and I'm from Boston, not Pittsburgh, but just knowing how baseball fans feel when you have an ace like Paul Skeens and you have a guy who has a window where you're trying to prove to him that, staying long-term is in his best interest and that the team is going to continue to improve, that blowing starts consistently like last year. We were there in Chicago. We watched the no-hitter against the Cubs in which he came out after 6 innings and the bullpen fell apart. So we saw that disaster. It's 1-for-1 when he hands the ball to the bullpen and things go south. Will they be aggressive this year, trying to make sure the bullpen's not costing Paul Skeens wins and, him feeling good about his start?
Yeah, I think a lot of those decisions are going to come internally first. I think they were smart with the guys they did make offseason additions with. Some of the veterans they brought in have leverage experience. Guys like, these aren't very well-known names, but if you look at the back of the baseball card of Tanner Rainey, Caleb Ferguson, Tim Meza, they brought back Ryan Barucki. These are all guys who have experience pitching in the 7th, the 8th inning. They're not closers, but they have leverage experience. And I don't know if they'll have a traditional closer if it's not David Bednar, but they're doing a decent job. Aside from Bednar and Holderman, the rest of the bullpen has looked pretty solid so far. So I think they're going to have to start giving guys opportunities. There's other players too. Eddie Yin is a prospect reliever that I think can have a decent season once he gets up here. Kyle Nicholas was a guy who didn't make the opening day roster simply because he had minor league options, but I think will be a big league closer one day, if not here, somewhere else. And there's also, I mean, you can only have so many starting pitchers in a rotation. And when you have Skeens, Keller, now Harrington, Bailey Falter, I mean, Bubba Chandler's going to be up here. Jared Jones is going to be back eventually. You can only have 5 of them. So some of those guys, they're not going to waste them in AAA if they're big league ready to a certain extent. I mean, now, if they're prospects, that's one thing. But if Bailey Falter isn't good enough to be in your starting rotation because you have just 4 elite arms ahead of him, then he should be in your bullpen. And maybe he can be a more effective reliever just knowing that, hey, you only got 4 batters to face, so come in there and let it eat. I think they can be really creative with how they use the arms because they have a lot of arms. It's just how they deploy them moving forward is really going to make the difference in the win-loss category here.
You've been on a road a long time. I mean, You've been down to spring training and you were down there and you went right to, to Miami, and then you're back in Tampa. I know you're looking forward to going home and getting back, Pirates getting up to Pittsburgh. That'll be fun. But you saw a game in a major league game in a minor league ballpark yesterday. We saw that in Sacramento with the Cubs. You saw it yesterday with the Pirates and the Rays. What was that like, considering you've been around all these major league ballparks and stuff? What did it feel like for you?
I mean, it felt very similar to the spring training games I covered there 2 weeks ago. The last time I was there prior to yesterday was March 16th. The Pirates played there, and it had a similar vibe because, the Yankees have a huge following down here in Florida. So that ballpark's filled for most of their spring training games when the Yankees are playing there. And the Pirates even played night games there this spring. So it was kind of weird seeing the laundry represent Major League Baseball, seeing the players not be minor leaguers or play a full 9 innings, not get subbed out in the late innings. And it looked like a Major League Baseball game on paper, but you did have to remind yourself, like, hey, this game counts. This is just because it's in a ballpark with 10,000 people doesn't mean it's spring training anymore. The most surreal thing to me was seeing all the Rays branding around a stadium that's named after George Steinbrenner. On the jumbo, or right above the jumbotron, it says George M. Steinbrenner Field, and then it's got a Rays logo above it. And they try to emulate the Yankee Stadium look throughout the ballpark, and they have Yankees all across like the top of the upper deck bowl, and now it's just covered by a big Rays sign, and it's just like what world am I living in here? It's just confusing. I get that the Rays are trying to make the most of this situation, but it does feel like you're playing in a minor league park. I mean, the clubhouse is tiny. I'm trying to work on these exclusive reports, talking to guys, and it's just like whispering in an elevator. It's impossible to maneuver. You're bumping into guys trying to get around. I would not want to cover 81 games in that ballpark throughout a regular season, and I'm sure Major League players are not thrilled about having to call that a home stadium, especially once we get to July, August, September. Mm-hmm. The weather in Tampa is going to be miserable to play in that stadium. It's a nice minor league park. It's not up to Major League standards.
Noah, we talk about the games and we talk about the betting angles and the way the game's going to be played. I know we are only 5 or 6 games in, so it's a very small sample size. However, when you see a player like Ella de la Cruz go ahead and install the torpedo bat last night for the first time, and he goes 4 for 5 with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs and 11 total bases. And he's asked after the game what it was like using the torpedo bat, and he basically said, "This thing is like a supercharger. I really do like this. This feels different in my hand. Contact feels different." Either on the record or off the record, what are folks in the Pirates clubhouse and baseball in general that are saying about this bat?
It's funny that you bring that up. So I went in there yesterday, and just first player I saw, I was like, hey, what do you think of this torpedo bat stuff? And he looked me right in the eyes and said, I've got 2 on the way. And he said, he said he would imagine that applies to about 90% of the people in the Pirates clubhouse. And it's probably the same way throughout all of baseball. And then this guy pulled out his bat that he has been using, and he pointed to all these marks around the label and said, look at all of these. This is a barrel with that bat. And just conversations with other players. The one guy told me, I asked him, I said, is that something where if you get it, you need to practice a couple weeks with to get used to it? And he said, if I take one good swing and it feels right, it's my everyday bat moving forward. Wow. I think the issue right now is just guys got to get their hands on them. If you have a connection to the Yankees or the manufacturer who developed this technology, then you're first in line. But from what I've heard, they're in high demand right now. And I bet by April 10th, we're going to see 5 of every 9 hitters in every lineup in baseball trying one of these things out.
Oh my. Yeah, that's going to, we're going to have to.
But on the counterpoint, I will say, I think the Yankees aren't telling the full story here. They took over a year to study this technology and practice and spring training and everything. So I don't think it's a one-size-fits-all type bat. I think these bats were designed based off of the data of where certain guys are hitting the baseball. If you're a player like Anthony Volpe, who might hit stuff on the end of the bat or something, or I don't have that data I just use Volpe as an example, but a Jazz Chisholm and an Anthony Volpe might have different frequent contact points. So I don't know if this is a one-size-fits-all thing, whereas it might just be figuring out where your specific sweet spot is in your swing. And now rather than trying to get your barrel to there, it's you can cater your bat to wherever your bat path comes across. That's where your barrel will be. So I think there's going to be further tinkering here with this.
To your point, the Yankees, or at least it's now been reported this morning, that Giancarlo Stanton used the bat last year in the playoffs, in which he hit 7 home runs in 14 games. So it wasn't just it wasn't like in spring training they rolled these out. This has been a plan in the works for a while as to how they are studying it. And at least in terms of Stanton, they knew they had something. They're like, okay, that thing is working. Let's roll this thing out to more and more players. Does that make it more difficult to get your hands on it if it has to be customized to the way you swing?
I would have to imagine that. I mean, one player told me that there's multiple bat companies that are creating this model now. So I think as time progresses, it's going to get a little bit more accessible. I just think right now, I mean, the first week new Jordans drop, everyone wants them, right? But eventually they're going to be in stores.
Really true.
So I just think it's going to be a matter of time. And it's also, I mean, this isn't going to work for everyone. There's some guys, you know how baseball players are. They're creatures of habit. And if it doesn't feel right, or if they just have one bad game with it, it's like when you get a new golf club or something. If you get new clubs and you shank a couple of shots on the front 9, you're screw these things. They suck. I'm going back to my old ones, and that's just us screwing around in a muni lot. These guys are making millions of dollars off of these decisions. So it'll be interesting to follow, especially in these first couple of months, how well these things produce, how much they catch on. Do they lead to injuries? This is a whole different type of biology with your swing that might put different stress on your elbows, your shoulders, your forearms. Who knows? There's a lot to this story.
Last one from me, sir. And again, thanks for joining us, and everybody follow him and, see where he's sitting every day. Going home, you had to leave the Rooster. I mean, you got to tell the story of the Rooster, and then it's March Madness weekend, Final Four weekend, and I know you're a college basketball fan. So 2-part question. Do you miss the Rooster, and who's winning the college basketball championship?
So quick story about the Rooster. I booked an Airbnb in Little Havana for the Miami series, just because I wanted to find a place where we could send multiple writers to stay if possible. It was a little bit more affordable to go Airbnb, 5-minute walk for the ballpark. what I didn't know when I booked this is that it was right in dead smack in the middle of a breeding ground for chickens in Little Havana. And I would be woken up every morning at 5:30 by not one, not two, but like a half dozen roosters just screaming at each other, fighting over who they get to breed with. And then the female hens were yelling at each other over where they get to lay their eggs. I had hens laying eggs outside my window. It was an experience. I ended up coming to like it. I don't miss them, but I do value the experience that I got. My dad raised me to be open to different cultural experiences and be open-minded, and that was certainly one that I will always remember. As far as March Madness goes, I felt bad at the beginning of the bracket when it came out, because in February, I love college hoops, but in February, I started taking like detailed notes, checking on the Ken Palm, the net rankings, all the analytics on like which teams I really like. And basically right around the Super Bowl, I said, there are 4 teams that are just head and shoulders better than everybody else. And those 4 teams were the 4 1 seeds. And so the whole time throughout all February and early March, I'm sitting there going, they're not going to really make me put all 4 1 seeds in my Final Four, are they? Yep. And sure enough, they all end up being 1 seeds. And that was the correct decision. They were just the 4 best teams. Yep. Through any measurement or figure that you want to go by, they were head and shoulders above the rest of the league. And it showed in this tournament. So my friends made fun of me when I did that. I'm not typically one to just go with the chalk bracket. But when I was filling it out, I don't see how these teams lose to anyone in their region. So I've got the Final Four correct. I have Auburn winning it all. I just think they were the best team for the whole season. My logic was between Florida and Auburn, whoever won the SEC title, that team was not winning the NCAA tournament. So because Florida completed that gauntlet, we're seeing Florida show a little bit of fatigue right now, I think. They've looked slow in 2 of their 3 recent games. Where I think Auburn got a little bit of a recharge. They didn't look great in the first round, but I think they've been playing better basketball. I think Duke is probably the favorite. I'm sure that's what Vegas has them at right now. Mm-hmm. But I just like Auburn more because they have more veterans. I think they're way more battle tested coming from the SEC. And, it's a year for goofy coaches winning championships between Ryan Day and Nick Sirianni. Give Bruce Pearl a ring, why don't you?
It's not a crazy point. And we were in Nashville for the SEC tournament, and we said the same thing. Like, it was going to be really hard to go and win both tournaments, given the gauntlet you'd have to go through to win both. But the one, I guess, if you're looking for a Florida angle, is to say that they should have lost to UConn and they didn't. Yeah. They should have lost their last game and they didn't to Texas Tech. So they've been able to, skin out just barely and avoid the upset. And so maybe once they get to, a week off, basically, they get to recharge, and then they are much more, their legs are back, playing up against Auburn, a team that they beat by 9 on the road this year at Auburn. My last question for you is, you're a media guy. So look, we're always looking for eyeballs and attention. Do you want Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh? Do you want him as the quarterback of the Steelers? Because if he comes there, you know what's coming with him.
Sure. I mean, this is what you get when you go into the Aaron Rodgers business. When you take a loan from someone you shouldn't take a loan from, you know that there's going to come a little bit more than just the normal interest, right? This is what happens when you get into the Aaron Rodgers business. They deserve everything they're getting. I hope it goes well because it's good for my outlet. It's good for the city. And I am a Steelers fan. I don't think it's going to go well. I don't think they have a better option. I would not draft a quarterback this year. It is what it is. Let's make it entertaining. Screw it. I'm sure him, DK Metcalf, and George Pickens is going to go real well.
Noah, give the Twitter handle again if folks want to go follow you.
Yeah, it's @_ Noah Hiles. NOAHHILES.
Noah, thank you for the time. Enjoy Florida. Appreciate you coming on today.
See you, brother.
Absolutely. See you, fellas.
Noah Hiles from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette joining us, talking BVB, talking Pittsburgh Pirate baseball, and, well, Aaron Rodgers potentially becoming your quarterback, Dave, to the newfound Steeler brethren.
Yeah, great. It's going to be interesting for the city, for him. I mean, he's out throwing passes at UCLA. Yeah. Everybody sees it. It is what it is. Noah's great. Literally just met through Twitter. And I said, I'm at the game. Are you here? Yes. We sat behind home plate, BS for 30 minutes. I said, would you be interested in coming on a show? He said, absolutely. So, we got our guy to keep track of the Pirates all summer. So he'll be available. Hopefully they turn things around. This kid starting tonight is coming with a pretty good body of work in the minors, and he had a pretty good August and September. He says, I love these things because this would be one of those ones where if I'm in the book, I'm watching him just bet the favorite. And this might be a Pirates first 5 play tonight. Like, I think they're going to be in the game. I think he's going to pitch well enough to keep them in the game, maybe be leading. Now, the bullpen has been tough. It's not gone well. So I can't say they're going to win the game, but I think they're a live dog tonight.
Okay. Let's go to what happened last night in baseball. The first ever major league regular season game in Sacramento for the A's went exactly as we thought it might.
Damn.
This is going to be a damn launching pad. 18-3, the final score. Cub catcher Carson Kelly hits for the cycle. First Cub player to hit for the cycle since 1993. 1-for-1, Dave. Are we going with this straight overs in every game?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to really adjust because it was supposed to be, 48 degrees at game time there, little chilly, heavy air, all this other stuff. And then balls were zinging out of there. I don't know if they were using torpedoes or not, but my goodness, it started early and it kept going. And, I mean, you see the scores yesterday. It looked like football scores. I mean, it was, 14 runs. I mean, it was all over the place. So, yeah, it's one game. But I think if they're going to do this in a night game in March, what are they going to do when it really heats up in the summer?
June.
Right? And
Day July.
Be like the games here. 14-13 finals. Pitching there is not going to be easy. I mean, if you got Oakland guys on your A's guys on your roster and in your fantasy leagues, start them on the road. I wouldn't start them at home.
Yeah, and we'll watch the totals. Today it's 8. We'll see how high it winds up going. Do they get the Coors treatment coming with 10, 11, 12, 13 type totals coming for the A's?
Well, Severino was great his first start.
Yeah.
And Steele wasn't so much against the Dodgers in Tokyo, so he'll be back today. I think it's going to get bet over. If I'm watching it, it's 8 and it's flat right now. You could probably safely bet over 8 minus 110, and you'll have that CLV because it's going to be 8 minus 15 or 8 minus 20 probably by this afternoon.
The torpedo bats are spreading, as you heard from Noah. Multiple players just on the Pirates. He said 90% by April the 10th. That is in 9 days. Will have those bats in use. The Reds, Ellie De La Cruz brought it out for the first time yesterday. This is game number 1 for him just to go ahead and pull it. And his day was 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, 11 total bases, and a 4-for-5 night for Ellie De La Cruz.
Not bad.
Okay, bookmaker. What do you do here if this continues?
What, as far as Ellie props or
no,
as far as
everyone?
Cincinnati, or
I'm talking about baseball. Are we going to start to have to go and see, because it's already started? CBW just tagged us. There are Twitter accounts who are following who is using the torpedo bat and who is not.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think
we betting on these things over.
Well, I think people are going to. I think it's going to have to. It's again. There's so many things. Games in minor league ballparks you got to adjust for. These torpedo bats, and no one's mentioning the balls.
Nope.
But I think we might need to consider what's going on with them as well. I think you're going to see there. I don't want to say an immediate adjustment in the totals, but there's got to be something done. And then the props, the torpedo guy props, you're going to be all shaded to the over. I mean, I just have to be. Jay Dow Bet said these balls are juiced too. A lot of people are saying that, Jay Dow.
All right, so here's the question. If the balls, if there's going to be enough data where we can separate between non-using and using, and the guys who are using the torpedo bats are like a half a run better, a half an RBI better, a half a home run better, maybe it's not the ball. I mean, we know the baseball is always juiced in March and April. We know that. Baseball always does that. They don't say anything about it, but we know what they do because they know that runs are pathetic in March and April. Because I don't want to, right now here in Manchester, the sun is shining. It's gorgeous. It's 35 degrees outside.
Yeah.
I don't want to go take a baseball hack. I don't want a 100-mile-per-hour slider coming in and hitting me in the hands. I want no part of it. So, like, they always try to figure out the earlier that they play the games, the more they have to do something to actually help the hitters with offense. So I'm with J-Dow, and I agree that these balls most likely are being altered in some form or fashion, but there's no debate that this bat, whether it be psychological or not, this bat is giving players an advantage at the plate right now.
Well, I mean, just heard Noah get it right from the clubhouse. A major leaguer just showed him the bat and said these would be all barrel up if we changed move more wood over here. I mean, I never would have thought.
Brian, the bats haven't been around forever. The theory has, but the actual way that this MIT guy with the Yankees built the bat, it's different. It's different.
Well, they just made the barrel. I mean, they moved it like we talked about it, those aluminum bats, the big stick and the Worth. I forget what it was called, but
Black Magic,
the Easton Black Magic, the Worth big stick, all that stuff. Yeah, I never would have guessed that at the beginning of baseball season we would be talking about wood and balls and bats and torpedoes. It just sounds like something else. It doesn't sound like a baseball discussion, but it all is right now. And we have MIT physicists talking about this and more wood to mass. Again, I don't know. But
the
if
law, the rules
misses,
are the rules. The rules are clear. This is not a violation of baseball rules. Like this is an interpretation of the one thing that Major League Baseball in the rule book, the one thing that was kind of vague, was what the bat had to look like. And we've played this is the 150th year. Why did it take so long for us to get involved with screwing with the bat? It's really interesting. The fact that we've done so much, like launch angle, we've done so much with release point, we've done so much with the height of the mound,
exit speed,
exit velo, your first step out, up in the box, back in the box. What's better? One hand, two hands on your backswing. Like, what's the best way of using this? How do you, as a pitcher, is it better to be always from the stretch? What does the pitch clock do? We got to speed up these pitchers. How many times can you visit the mound? Now it's only a certain number of times. Like we've done all of these things in baseball to kind of create the game that we want over 150 years. And this is the first, I'm 47. I can't remember a conversation about the thing that we use the most to hit the damn ball.
Yeah.
To score offense. We're now talking about that piece of equipment.
I don't know. I don't know. It's happening so fast. JC from KC said in the chat, you can buy a Victus Torpedo bat right now online for $200.
Not customized, just off the rack. Right. So it's like an off the rack
driver,
right?
Right. You go get a Big Bertha.
Yeah, it's not customized to you.
A lot of people thought that when they went and bought golf clubs. I'm going to go buy a Big Bertha. I'm going to be able to drive it 300 yards and keep it in the fairway. Well,
right.
You have to learn how to hit it as well. That's the thing. It's I don't want to say everything's moving too fast and everybody's making snap judgments that go, okay, just because of the bat now, it's going to be this. It's affecting something, whether it's the bats, the balls, the players. Players are bigger, faster, stronger now than they have been. Listen, I'm seeing it even softball. Girls softball used to be about pitching. Games were 2-1, 2-0. If you had a high-scoring game, it was 4-2.
Right.
Oklahoma just played a game over the weekend against somebody in the I can't remember who it was against. The final score was 18-13. Like, it's changing. So, chicks dig the long ball. Everybody digs the long ball.
Stanton used it last year, so it wasn't just this year. He used it last year. He hit 7 home runs in the postseason.
Yeah.
So this is not like something of like a get to spring training and be like, oh, look what we found. Like, this has been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
Does baseball adjust? If this becomes like the steroid conversation and we start seeing guys hitting 5 home runs a game.
Yeah.
Do we adjust?
Well, I think everybody adjusts. I think pitchers will adjust. I think,
rules.
I mean,
do rules?
Oh, I don't know what they're. How do you? I mean, I don't even. Again, I said it before, and I know it's April Fool's, but I can't even open up social media today because everybody's playing jokes and this and that, and I don't even want to know. But I think for us to even speculate on what baseball is going to do, I mean, if you told me a couple of years ago they're going to institute a pitch clock and it's going to change the game and you're going to like it, I wouldn't have believed you.
Right.
And I like the pitch clock now. I mean, it's fast, makes the game move. So anything can happen. I mean, they made the bases bigger. Stolen bases are cool again. So maybe they're going to change something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be really curious to see what happens because, again, baseball, they own Rawlings, so they change the ball and they never tell anybody and they don't have to tell anybody and they can just, add it to be either tightly wound or not tightly wound. Mm-hmm. So, after the ball has been an issue for a long period of time, I think we should be told when the balls are going to be different because we can see it in the way that the game is played in the offense. If you want to tell me that the balls are juiced right now in April and March, I'll agree. I'll go, sure. Yep. I'm good with that. But I'll be very curious to see how the bat thing goes. And if it becomes widespread and if offense is dramatically up because of this bat and the repositioning of the bat, look, I mean, they're into it and people arguing in the chat. We'll see whether this technology has been around for a long time or not, because the Yankees are claiming that they put an MIT person into this and whatever they had tried to do in the past didn't work. This is working.
Well, guys that have been in the big leagues, they've probably seen these before. They just weren't successful. They weren't in guys that hit. Right. So, now guys that couldn't hit inside pitches or got sawed off or rolled over or whatever, are hitting a ball in a gap and or over the fence because they have, moved their barrel up spot to a different spot. So it works. But like Noah said, it's not a one size fits all fix.
Right.
Some guys are going to get it in their hand and not be able to use it, not like it.
I mean, and you have guys like Rafael Devers, who has struck out 15 times in 5 games.
Oh, my
He's
goodness.
0 for 19.
Oh.
It wouldn't matter what bat he was using. It wouldn't matter if he was using, the equivalent of a red wiffle ball bat with the big, huge, gigantic barrel.
Right.
Because Rafi can't hit anything right now.
Nothing.
0 for 19.
Not good.
15 strikeouts for Rafael Devers.
Not good.
What's going on? Because everybody in Boston up here is trying to figure out what the hell is up. Is this a protest? Because he looks like he can't hit anymore. Like he can't catch up to a fastball to save his life.
I used to tell the kids when they were in slumps, like, what's wrong? Something, there's more to this.
Right.
I mean, because you can hit, you're here, something's not right. And I felt like inevitably there was always something.
Right.
All this outside noise can't be helping.
No.
So making it worse every time you get in, and striking
needs a live chicken. Needs a live chicken.
Needs like the Blues Brothers. He needs 4 whole chickens. One isn't going to do it right now.
See, this is the prevailing opinion. I'll tell you the prevailing opinion up here. This is it. It was said on Boston radio yesterday that I heard it, and I was like, wow, this is wild. That Rafael Devers is currently on pace to become the most hated man in Boston sports this summer, if this continues. Because he's making $32 million to play for the Red Sox, and it looks like he's intentionally doing this. I don't subscribe to that, but this is a guy who is a 40 home run a year hitter, and he can't make contact, and he had that whole big flip out in spring training about, I'm not moving, I'm the third baseman, and the team had to sit him down and say, sorry, Rafi, no, you're not. We just got the guy there.
Can't wait till you get back to Vegas and out of that crucible of crap that they talk about. I mean, it's unbelievable. There's people that are saying this on the radio in Boston, that he's going up there
doing this,
intentionally striking out. So what? He could get traded, or they'll go, you know what? Ruffy can't hit as a DH. Put him back at third.
That's exactly it.
That's going to work?
No, absolutely not. But that's the opinion that's coming out of here. Yes, and then people are saying this. This is to get him sent out of town, to get him traded. Like he'll perform so poorly that he'll be traded, and then he'll go ahead. Santana, I'm not the one saying this. I'm just saying I'm reporting what Boston media is saying right now, that he is intentionally trying. If he goes 6 for his next 6, he'll be at 240. Yeah. That he's intentionally trying to do this. And the other opinion is he's out of shape. His bat speed is down. He's not in baseball shape, as what it's being claimed. He may look like he's in shape. He's not in baseball shape. And that he didn't take spring training seriously. He didn't work well, on his hand-eye coordination. And so he's getting lit up by pitchers who are throwing 100-mile-per-hour fastballs, and he can't catch it. He can't catch up.
It's just hitting is hard.
But 15 strikeouts in 5 games is a little bit like, that's crazy.
What if he's not healthy?
Well, it's possible. Sure. I mean, right? It's possible.
But I don't know.
This is the prevailing opinion in Boston is this.
Joe Onler, he getting paid. He got lazy.
That's the prevailing opinion. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I'm not saying it is right. I'm just saying this is bad. Could his bat speed be down because he's not trying? See, like there's just a theory going on right now around Rafael Devers that he lost his motivation, he got paid, and that he's pouting. And so he's like, fine, you want to make me be the DH? 0 for 19, 15 strikeouts.
Wow. I don't think he's going up there swinging and missing on purpose.
I'm with you. I agree.
That's a bit much. That's a Boston take that makes everybody just really go, what's wrong with you people? Like seriously, all of you are out of your mind.
Agreed. But we'll see what happens today. But the Red Sox have lost 4 in a row. And Devers has been responsible for 2 of the losses because he's been up in a 2-1 run game with runners on the corners, and he's striking out consistently. You need your guys to produce. You need your paid hitters to produce. He can't even put the ball in play. I mean, let alone, get a hit or a home run. He can't put the ball in play. 15 strikeouts in 5 games is, oh my God, 0 for 19.
I saw a stat yesterday, and I can't remember who posted it, whether it was Stat Muse or Super 70 Sports or something. I think it was Super 70 Sports. Tony Gwynn struck out 15 times in 558 at-bats in like 1986 or something. And Rafi has struck out 15 times in 19 at-bats so far this season.
Can't make contact.
Yeah, it's just, again, there's more to it. I don't know what it is. So they don't play today? The Red Sox are off today? Is that right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, because the Orioles had opening day and then they're waiting. Like they have that built into their schedule in case it rains.
Yeah, I'm going through the schedule to see who who's pitching today.
Because that was one game for the Orioles, so they play tomorrow then.
Yeah.
Just because those Cam yards. I mean, the Red Sox do that too sometimes. They have their opening day built in. Because their bullpen got smacked yesterday. That was a game until the 8th inning. And then they blew it open.
Yeah, you're right. So they don't.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Noah about if there was any buzz about the Crochet contract.
Why? Over Skeens?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
it's okay to lock up a young guy.
Well, that's because it was the record. The Red Sox gave Garrett Crochet $170 million. It's the most amount of money ever given to somebody who has pitched fewer than 800 innings in Major League Baseball.
Right.
It's only pitched 250.
Yeah, it's a big.
So it's a monster contract for a guy without a lot of experience. But the Red Sox, he's 25 years old, and he's a lefty who throws 100 miles an hour. So they were like, "Yep," and he already had Tommy John. So like the worry about injury, he's already had the Tommy John surgery. So like they feel comfortable going and saying, "All right, Skeens has not, and Skeens is a righty." So, but yeah, I think Skeens should be locked up. I think that's a bargain. Paul Skeens for $180 million. Yes, because
he's a righty that throws 100. So
yeah, because Crochet Crochet took it because he'll be able to go and sign at 31. He'll be able to go and sign another 9-figure contract.
He has an opt-out. I think it's. I read
no, there's no opt-outs.
Yeah, at 2030 there is.
Oh, so yeah. So right, because he's 25. So he'll be 30, 31 years old when he can opt out of the contract and go sign another mega contract if he wants. But it's good for both sides. I mean, that's the Red Sox ace for the next 5 seasons. Yeah. They get all of his late 20s. And if I'm the Pirates, I'm doing the exact damn thing. I'm taking that contract and saying, Paul, you want this? Because we'll give it to you right now. Yes or no? And see what he would do. And you'd have a pretty good idea as to what his future thoughts are about staying in Pittsburgh. It's a lot of money.
Let's win some games. I mean, they got Tampa. They go from Tampa back to Pittsburgh. Friday's opening day in Pittsburgh. They got the Yankees for the weekend. So you gotta get going. I'd like to see him win today.
Right. The Boston Celtics have been playing basketball for a really long time. They did something last night that I actually, when I heard it, I was like, that can't be right. The Boston Celtics, for the first time in the history of their franchise, went on the road for 6 games and went 6-0 on the road. First time ever.
Yeah.
That's hard to believe.
It is hard to believe, but how many, it's probably a limited number of 6-game road trips too.
Fair.
Keep that in mind.
Fair. It's a far trip. It's a long trip to go.
That was a long trip. And they've done that now. There's always one, I feel like, where they do the whole California swing and then they come back and hit somewhere in the Midwest or whatever on the way back. But to do it now at the end of March with their spot seemingly already locked in.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but that's good for the Celtics.
Oh, they smacked the we're not swearing, but they I watched the whole game. I couldn't believe it because I bet the over in the game, and I all that steam that took over, and everyone was betting the over. I thought we were dead on, we were okay, and then all of a sudden in the third quarter, Boston just locked down, and they didn't let Ja get to the rim.
Yep,
they were playing really well defensively, offensively. I mean, it was like, oh my, they really took the game seriously, and Tatum, it got physical at times. They smacked him around.
Wow. Ondler said it's their most road wins in a season.
Yeah.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah. They're better on the road than at home. I mean, that's now proven. And so afterwards, and we'll get Chris Forsberg back. We're back on the show. So he was, we've had him on a couple times before, but he was on last night on NBC Sports Boston talking about the fact that this is why the team's not worried about Cleveland or Oklahoma City. They're like, okay, we go on the road. Big deal. We've won 15 of 16 games on the road. We're not worried about anybody on the road. So we're the 2 seed. Oh, well.
Okay.
We're good. We don't care about going on the road. And if OKC has the one, has home court, okay. Big deal.
You can say that about teams sometimes. And I think, people that bet, sports bettors, have a tendency to use that expression a lot about flipping the switch.
Yeah.
Well, the Celtics feel like that they can flip that switch anytime.
Yeah.
After that little road trip and that game last night, where I thought it was the perfect spot.
Absolutely. I thought so too. Memphis was live. I thought, okay, they'll lose this game, go 5-1 on the road trip, and Memphis will, put up 100. They beat Boston in Boston, and they scored 127 points against them in that game. They scored 104 last night at home. I mean, Boston held them to 20 plus less points than in the second matchup than the first matchup, and they had Ja. I mean, they were healthy. Yeah. That was a full Memphis team, and Boston was able to keep them under 105 points last night. So, you got to tell me how the hell this happened, because I don't understand this at all. The Crown is not being bets are not being accepted on the Crown tournaments outside of Nevada. Tournaments being played in Las Vegas. Our friends at Circus Sports is one of the sponsors of this tournament. They're taking bets. Other books in Vegas are taking bets as well. But DraftKings in almost every jurisdiction, including Mass in New Hampshire, where I currently am, they're not taking wagers on this. Even though they had it up momentarily, they handed all the money back to everybody. What is this in your mind? How did this happen?
I mean, Dave's Daily Picks is in a chat saying DK voided winners but won't refund my losing bet.
Correct. And that's a huge issue. I think they will.
I don't understand why that's happening.
Because it's what they do.
Well, you can't do that.
It benefits them. So,
well, you have to give the money back. I mean, you have to just void all the bets. So, in a brief exchange with Benson, it wasn't approved as a thing that you could take bets on in other jurisdictions, because what happens is when you have the regular stuff, then something like this pops up. You have to apply with the state regulator, whoever's monitoring this stuff, and say, hey, there's going to be this basketball tournament in the end of March, first week of April. We want to take bets on it. If you don't file that paperwork or let them know that you want to do that before, they don't approve it. You can't just decide the week of or the day of, like you're going to put something up.
How is it up in different states? Because it is up, like Rock's saying, it's up in Iowa, it's up in Florida. Like, well, why is it a state by state deal?
Florida does whatever they want. They have diplomatic immunity, I think. Down there. I don't know. Every state is different. I mean, the crazy part is that when you knew this was going to go up,
because I have a bet on it tonight, but where I bet it's not going to void it. So
right, yeah.
There's ways of getting down. If you want to get down, there's a way to getting down and getting around this.
Of course.
But I didn't know this because I went ahead and I bet it last night. And then this morning on the Daily Juice, everyone was writing the messages being like, your bet's going to get voided. So I went to the book and was like, is the bet going to get voided? No, it's not. Bet's not going to get voided.
Right.
And then I realized why the bet was not going to get voided. And I was like, wait, DK is voiding all of these bets. And then, like what Dave was saying, there's people who are saying, yeah, I bet yesterday and my winning bet got voided. My losing bet, they kept my money.
Yeah, that's just dirty pool.
Yeah.
Like, if you're taking bets on something, and there's ways that this can happen that I can't fully disclose, but like the games in New Jersey that were not allowed to be bet on were open, mistakenly.
Right.
The first game on Friday.
Right.
The in-game was available. The first half was available, all this other stuff. And bets were made and settled. And then somebody went, wait a second, why was this open? We weren't supposed to take bets on this at all here.
But that's a law but that's in the bylaw of the state as to what is legal to be bet on and what is not. College basketball is legal to be bet on in the state of Nevada. But who is responsible for going to gaming and saying, hey, we're hosting 16 teams are coming here to play college basketball. We want to take bets on this activity. Who was the one responsible to go and do this? The Crown tournament or the book?
Oh, it has nothing to do with the Crown tournament. The Crown tournament's having the tournament regardless, whether you can bet on it or not. So no, it's up to each. So like, for example, DraftKings has to apply in every state they're in to say, we're taking bets on this Crown stuff.
But why
do it
in Nevada?
In certain states,
to pull it down. Though.
They can't take it.
Like Avello went on VSiN yesterday and was like, we've pulled it down in certain jurisdictions. We left it up in other jurisdictions. They're not legal in Nevada.
In all fairness, Johnny had no idea.
Okay.
Like they threw Johnny on and he had no idea because Johnny's not involved in the day-to-day stuff. So I saw Johnny Sunday at the basketball or at the volleyball game, by the way. Said to say hello.
Hi, Johnny. Johnny Avello, head of DraftKings, by the way.
Correct. Yes. It's a very, again, awkward situation. We've had Sherman on talking about like he puts the lines up for Live Golf in New Jersey. He couldn't take bets on it. You could take bets here on it, but
right.
New Jersey said you're not taking bets on Live Golf. You ask them, you apply, they tell you yes or no. If you don't apply, you can't open the markets, and that's what they did. They didn't know. I would guess if you got the truth from people, which again, we're always seeking the truth on this show, and we always fight for that inch. But no one will probably tell you or own up to the fact that they didn't do it. why would you think you had to apply for a special thing to take bets on this tournament?
When it's high major
basketball.
It's high major tournaments. I mean,
That's
it's
what
high
I mean.
major teams. This is not like,
Yeah.
Valdosta State. This is, Butler and Utah. This is Nebraska. This is like, these are, brand name people. The brand name teams that are playing in this.
Yeah.
It's really wild to see how
it's
this
a
goes.
shame because a lot of people are finding out about the customer service departments for books and the frustration level that you get, because I think you're going to get the money back. I would think.
I would hope.
Even for the losers.
I would hope.
I just think
today someone told me that they're all going to go up, though. That it's all going to happen today. Is that true?
What?
That you can bet on it today. That the games caught them, basically with their pants down yesterday, and so betting is now going to be up for today.
Well, I'm in Vegas right now. You're usually in Vegas. Everything's up, so it's fine. Like I checked
Benson
3 different apps.
So what did Benson say? Because Benson said on VSiN that they had to pull it down.
In Illinois, it wasn't up.
What about Vegas?
Be up in Illinois.
It's up in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was up in Vegas. People are saying no, it's not up in Vegas. It's not. People are telling me it's not up in the whole country. I was like, wait, what? Come on, that's impossible.
Listen, I love you guys in the chat, and I love when you get involved and you correct us. But if you're gonna come with stuff like that, you have to be
right.
100% right.
Agree.
Like there's no mistakes. You can't just speculate and say, "Oh, I saw this or I read this, I heard this."
Right.
Like, when I found out that the bets were up in New Jersey, I had guys texting me and telling me and showing me. Benson said Circa had to take it down. All right, I'm going to look right now.
Right.
College basketball, NIT games. Let's see. All right, that's
because on my odds screen, Circa, Superbook, South Point, it's up everywhere.
College basketball crown, it's up. I'm
it's
open.
up.
I have the app open.
It's up. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. It's up right now. You can make bets on it.
Right. That's what I thought. Okay.
Cincinnati's -9.5. The total is 144.5, and the money line's -450.
Okay.
So
perfect.
It's nothing. I mean, again, it's fine, but it's up. So everybody take a deep breath.
Yeah.
It may not be up in Illinois.
Right.
It may not be up in
right.
Iowa.
Right.
It's
but it is up.
But I know it's up here. I have the app up.
And that's all that matters to me. Is it up in Vegas? Yes. Okay, good. Like that's all that matters to me. Like if Vegas is if there's numbers in Vegas, we're betting it. Like period. So on that, a quick story, but I thought this is pretty neat to put this out. Coastal Carolina. This is not April Fool's. Coastal Carolina has put this out today. Every football game, every fan will get free concessions for going to the game next season for fall.
Oh, that's good. They're gonna improve attendance. People go there to eat, watch football.
So anyone who buys a ticket will be able to acquire 4 items per concession stand visit. That's per. Hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, and fountain drinks. There is no limit to the number of in-game visits that they will go, but fans must scan each trip through the line with a soon-to-be launched Coastal Carolina Athletics app.
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable.
Well, how many people attend Coastal Carolina games? 20,000?
You okay? Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'd say that's a good number. I don't know. But that's really good. They're going to push the app for sure. Yes. That bathroom line about to be long. Daniel G, you're right.
But that is, I mean, fine. But I think that's Coastal deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. What do you make of it in terms of just in the future for going to sports? Because we've talked about the lack of attendance and the going to games. We've experienced it together. When you go to the game, the cost of going to games is getting difficult for families.
Correct.
I mean, you talked about what you guys went to a professional volleyball event. Yeah. How much was it to go to a concession stand for parking and everything else?
Yep.
So, I know this is not Ohio State. This is not like going to, Tennessee or Alabama when you have 100,000 people there, but it's still a Division I football program that is saying, hey, you buy the ticket, we'll cover the cost of whatever your popcorn and soda is going to be for you and the kids. I love this idea. I hope this thing catches on.
Great. Oh, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic idea. I'm not saying other people should do it, but if it works for Coastal, that's great. When you work at a casino in Vegas, they give you a meal. You know, you get a meal. If it's abused, you know, you have to scan your ID and you have to, you know, and then you get one trip through and you eat, whether it's lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever your shift is. They let you go back up for this? Like you could go multiple trips?
That's no limit.
Impressive.
You can destroy however many dogs or glizzies, as Emerson wants to call them, whatever you want. You can go do a Nathan eating hot dog contest if you want.
Right.
Just go in there and drill it.
Right.
I mean, I think it's brilliant. I mean, how much are hot dogs, popcorn, and fountain soda going to run you? Even for 20,000 people, what's that going to run you per home game? $20,000, $30,000? Just increase the ticket prices by $5 and you cover it.
Right.
I mean, it's not a big deal.
I don't know. I think that's, I mean, I know that would help us.
How much could
Maddie and Kendall eat?
Probably a lot.
8 pounds of popcorn, that's for sure. I know that. The kids love the popcorn.
Soda can take it down for sure.
That would save. I mean,
if I was UNLV, I would copy this. If I was UNLV, how do you increase attendance? How do you get somebody to show up to a crap football game? Say, you know what? We're going to copy this. We're on the same level as Coastal. We're trying to increase Dan Mullins and get some hype. If I'm UNLV, I'm going right to going, hey, how much would it cost us? Run the numbers, because we never have the upper bowl open. Only the lower bowl is open. How do we get more people to come in to be a part of this? I would do it at UNLV tomorrow.
Yeah. I just, as long as they understand what they're getting into. People love free stuff for sure. People love all.
What do you mean? Like going backwards? If they go back to charging, people are going to be mad?
Well, no. I just think you have to know, like you're going to get people that are there for the food, not the game.
Fair, but that's okay.
That's fine.
But you got to buy a ticket though. It's not free admission. It's free concessions.
Yep.
So like, you still got to buy the ticket. So whatever the ticket price costs. I mean, I went to 2 UNLV games last year. The first one was Madeline and I think I went on a faculty night, and I think it was like $50. It was like $25 a ticket. And then I went with Amanda, Maddie, and I to the Boise State game, and that was I think $130 for the three of us to go. So you go ahead and you raise the ticket price to $140, $150 for those same tickets, and you just cover the concessions and say, hey, you know, how many times are you going up there anyway, really? I mean, how many times are you going in there? 2 times, 3 times?
Yeah, that's what I mean, Max. Like, you know.
The line's going to be long.
Lines are going to be long, you know, maybe multiple times for the drinks. I mean, one time maybe for all the food, and second if you're really, really hungry. But I think, no, it's a goodwill thing. And again, everybody's trying to create value. That creates value. I don't have to pay. I know what the cost is. Everybody's always trying to figure out the cost of everything. You know, there's no added on fees. What's the price of the ticket? $100. What does that get me? Ticket to the game and free concessions. These 4 items. If you want something else, it's premium. You got to pay for it. Perfect.
Right.
Lock it in. It's great.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's a really smart move for college. I hope that catches on big time across the country for mid-level college football. No? I hope it does. Mid-level college football, I hope it absolutely catches on and more people look to do it. But again, I'm not talking about the SEC here. I'm not talking about the Big Ten here where you get 105,000 people there. But if I'm a program trying to get more people to come in and attend, I'm looking to copy this for sure. Quick story. Olivia Miles was expected to be the number 2 pick in the WNBA draft out of Notre Dame, has said no to the WNBA and will instead stay in college and go and play for money in college. She'll make more money in college than she will in the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
And the WNBA is also talking about the potential of a strike after next year.
Wow. That was fast.
Yeah. They're serious about it. I mean, Angel Reese has been pretty adamant that they want, quote, what they are owed. I laugh. I mean, this is like, I love watching the arguments. I love people when they go like, yeah, go after it. I'm like, do you guys understand how much money the WNBA has made in its history? That'd be zero. Zero. WNBA has never made a dime. It's never made it has been a losing league every single year. It's been a losing franchise, a losing exposition for the NBA to go ahead and fund this. But they're going to go on strike? Like, what are you doing? Like, what do you mean you're going to go on strike? If I'm an owner, I'm like, go on strike. Go ahead. I'm going to make money with you guys not playing basketball than when you guys are playing basketball. It's great when you have 1 or 2 games when you have, the Indiana Fever come in and I make some money back a little bit on that.
Right.
But you're going to go on strike. Like what? I would stay in college too. There's more money.
I think this is going to become a real thing in every sport, but football. There's going to be college kids that are going to make more money in college playing basketball than they will overseas, and they're not even going to make the league.
Right.
So I think it's something that I think people are going to pay attention to, and I don't blame her one bit. I've talked about that as well with kids. Like, enjoy college. I just had this talk with my daughters over the weekend. Enjoy this, because when you're done and you come home, you got to get a job. And when you don't feel like going to class, you can get away with it. Well, I mean, they really can't because they're on a team, but like college kids can get away with not going to class.
Right.
It was can't get away with not going to work.
TCU got knocked out of the tournament last night, and there was a girl that was at the podium, and she said she's a 5th-year senior, and she was like, when I was a sophomore, I was looking at people who were in their 5th year, and I was like, why the hell would you stay in college for 5 years? And now she's like, I'd do anything to be able to come back and play one more year. I'd do anything to be able to go for a 6th year, and she has to go now. So, I mean, that's college basketball right now. If you are an elite high-level player, it's better than playing in the pros. The money's better. The requirements are different. It's easier.
Training table's pretty good at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Get on that bus and ride in this, Wichita. Nothing against Wichita, but like wherever you're at in those Midwest places, it's a lot harder. So
yeah, I think WNBA is gonna be real careful. Like, you got to be real careful about we want to get what we are owed. Whew. Okay. Good luck in that conversation, because because there's Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, there's a whole lot of players on the end of those benches that is lucky to be getting a paycheck, because that league has been an absolute money pit for the NBA owners ever since it came into existence. And yes, it's it's going great, and the trajectory is wonderful, but there's a lot of red number years that the NBA owners are going to go, wait, what? Hold on a second. Time out. You're gonna walk off the job. Okay. Best of luck to you guys.
We'll
see you later. Games tonight. Mets and the Marlins. Alcantara back to the mound. He's a dog at home to Senga in the Mets. This number was somewhat surprising to me. 160?
Yeah. I think there's a Mets
Alcantara
premium already. Yeah, there's a Mets premium. I don't know what to make of Senga yet. This one of those, just period, like what we've seen of them. So, but I mean, I saw enough of the Marlins so far. A couple Pirate games. Lineup is little something to be desired. Pirates gave them a couple runs multiple times.
Pitch.
So
that's about all that they can do.
7.5. First thought is under, but again, we'll see. Unders haven't been good, and I don't know how many torpedo bats there are.
Right. The Braves are 0-5. The Dodgers are 6-0.
Dear.
It's Chris Sale Day against Dustin May. If the Braves can't win today, how big of a hole are they going to have to climb out of?
Yeah, they get the Marlins next. They'll win a couple games. They'll be okay. It'd be nice for them to win right now. This might be the best price that you get Chris Sale all season.
Right?
Yeah.
At a dog price.
Yeah. And plus like 115. So hard to pass up. Hard to pass up. But again, you bet these streaks in baseball. I mean, this is a really good start. The Dodgers look like a complete juggernaut. I mean, I joke they're going to win 150 games. I mean, they're going to lose like 12 games.
Is the Profar news significant to you that he's out 80 games for PEDs?
I just don't know how you get busted now. I just don't know how you get busted. Yeah. Losing
80
profile
games,
hurts
half
the
the
Braves
year.
a lot. Yeah. At stakes if you have them on the fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough
Dynasty
one.
League, lose him half the year, not for injury, just because he got caught cheating.
Right.
And then finally, Cubs, A's. Total's only 8. I know it's Steele and Severino, but we just saw 18-3.
Yeah, I know. It's cross. I put a line through it until further notice because this screams under and this screams A's to me. But I can't right now. You got to see more games. There's too much. I was watching it in game yesterday and I was laughing because I'm like, oh, this would be driving me crazy because I'd be trying to find the top, right? When it's 8-3, is it 15.5 or 16.5? Like and it final score they kept scoring. It was 18-3 final. So I'm going to come on here and say under, but
no, Sonic, this is the second game. You missed the first part of the show. Second game.
Yesterday was. The first yesterday was the first one in the minor league stadium for them.
He's saying this is the first minor league stadium game.
Oh, no. The Pirates and Rays played yesterday there, and they played yesterday in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm. To the NHL, the Capitals are at the Bruins. Ovechkin 5 goals away from tying Gretzky. The Bruins have lost 8 straight. This is going to get ugly.
Yeah. What's the total? Let me see.
6.5, I thought.
We got Washington, Boston, 5.5.
Oh, God. Over.
5.5.
Over.
Washington 4-1 can get you, though.
Yep. That's fine. I have Capitals in regular. I have the same bet I made yesterday. I got screwed. The Calgary Flames scoring 2 goals in the third period in a minute.
Yeah. It was one bad shift.
Disaster. It was unbelievably bad. 2-0 lead gone in a minute of action. Colorado. And then they lost the game in overtime on top of that.
Right. Yeah.
on that. Capitals in regulation. They're going to house the Bruins today. Capitals
win. Yeah. And Ovi most likely gets a goal tonight.
Third period goal. He might get 2 today. I think he might get 2. This is a great game to pad your stats if you're Ovechkin in the Capitals. Bruins are done.
Yeah, we'll see.
In Vegas, Oilers at Golden Knights. Big number for Vegas, -160.
Something's wrong with Edmonton. Just, I like Vegas, but I think under.
Wow.
6.5. Ooh. And Edmonton, it's hard to go unders, but they're not scoring. So, this is the first game back for the Knights, right? They had that long road trip.
Yeah.
Multiple stops. First game back. Everybody's allergies probably killing them like mine. It's brutal. The wind isn't exceptionally bad.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I think Vegas, wow, there's a Francisco Ochoa of maybe Vegas and Capitals money line parlay. Put those two together. There you go.
Don't love it. Don't hate it. I like it. That'll work.
Chalk. Yep.
And then finally, Jets at the Kings. Maybe the best game of the night.
Good game. Kings at home have been just tremendous.
Dominant. So, best team in hockey.
Yeah. Wow. Boy, oh boy. Books are really stuck on a number. 5.5 under -140. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Just go to 5. It won't kill you. 5.5 under -140. What are we doing? Just go to 5 flat. Everybody's happy. We push, we give it back. Crazy.
I like the Kings to win that game. Coming up here for today. Guys, like we said, the whole show is going to be inside the 140 today. So you guys who normally don't see Better to Book It, you guys get Better to Book It during the show now. All right, Better to Book It. We go to the semifinals of the NIT. UC Irvine catching 1.5 to North Texas, who lost their head coach, the Anteaters, who we saw in person at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Gave me UC Irvine to keep the magical run with 31 wins going. I think they win the game, but I'll take the 1.5. Better to book it.
Book it. I didn't even know the game was today.
There's 2 games today.
North Texas, yeah.
Chattanooga and who's the other game? Chattanooga, somebody else.
Loyola Chicago.
Thank you, Loyola Chicago. I like them too. And the final will be UC Irvine against Loyola Chicago. That's my prediction for the NIT final on Thursday. Okay. I believe it happens on that. Nova laying 3 against Colorado in the Crown. Nova might win the whole damn thing. Eric Dixon's the best player in the tournament.
Okay, I'll say this is a bet
for Villanova tonight. Neither team will have any fans there.
There was a lot of people dressed up as seats yesterday at the game. There was a lot. I mean, you could hear
There's 4 more today.
I was going to go, and I looked at the one game in the afternoon. I'm like, I ain't going down there. I ain't going. It cost me more to park and find the. No, I'm good. I'll watch it. I didn't even watch it on TV. I went to bed.
Yeah,
I knew we were getting up early doing the show.
Caps in regulation.
That's a bet. They're beating Boston.
They better. I mean, Colorado, it's the same handicap. It's the same thing. I got burned yesterday going right back to the well. Yeah. Capitals minus 125 in regulation.
I like the price, too. That's good.
Yeah, it's not horrible. Favorite thing about today is what?
2 things. 1, Hooters filed for bankruptcy. Did you see that?
That was last week. That was last week.
Well, I just saw it, and I was like, oh, no. What are we doing? But yeah.
Why?
Well,
I said to Amanda, Hooters should have done what we said back in the day. Hooters and what Buffalo Wild Wings should be books. They should just have converted straight to a sports book. It's the only thing they're lacking. I would have gone to applied for licenses. I would have brought in a whole gaming team. I would have gone full bore. The only thing lacking at a sports book now is that they want to hide the boobs, show the boobs off. And just go ahead and do it with Hooters, and away you go. Books and boobs. There you go.
Put that on a t-shirt. Second favorite thing about today is that we start the show early. Nobody in my house knows that we're going to do the show early. I get a FaceTime call from downstairs. What are you doing? Are you awake? Yes, I'm getting ready to do the show. You're doing it early? Yes. Why? There's a dog in our backyard. What? There's a dog in our backyard? How did a dog get in the backyard? Well, I don't know. Where is it? It's on the side of the house. What is it? It's a Yorkie. A little one? It's tiny. Maybe a baby. I'm like, I'll be right down. Go downstairs because we got the dog. Charlie, I don't want her to see the dog because I don't know. Why is there a dog in our backyard and it's not our dog? Walk around the corner, side of the house, next to the air conditioner, and this little dog is shaking like a leaf, scared to death. And I'm like, hey, buddy, come on, come here. Won't move. And Jessica goes, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to go do the show. That's what I'm going to do. What are you going to do? And she's like, well, I can't leave this dog here. And I'm like, well, go get the dog. Go head over, do your mom thing, your female thing. Go pick up the dog, be nice. And she's like, well, I got to go to work. And I said, take the dog to work. I said, do not leave this dog at home. She's like, well, what do I said, put it on the Facebook page in the neighborhood, which somebody lost a Yorkie yesterday because there was a posting. Does anyone know whose dog this is? Because it must have been walking around, somehow found its way to, Camp Sherapan. I'm like, okay, this is great. I'm going to give this dog a meal, most likely, let it hang out, get it some water. But I came upstairs to do the show, and I said, we're not keeping this dog. No matter what you say, don't even start. You can show Kendall the dog, let her pet it. We're not keeping this dog. So my favorite thing about today is that we still have one dog. I'm going to finish the show. We got our big meeting. Hopefully everything goes well. And then I'm going to find out whether we're not adding a dog. I'm adamant we're not adding a dog. That's it.
Yes.
Favorite thing about today was a dog in my backyard.
You guys were wondering this hat. So all the Chicago folks are loving this hat. Well, this hat, there's a reason why I'm wearing this hat. So April 1st starts Autism Awareness Month. This is Brooks's hat. So I'm wearing that for Brooks. Brooks has autism. And for somebody like me who had never been around anybody who has autism and the community that comes from it, I know oftentimes on this show, we've talked a lot about if you need a community, if you need someone to talk to. I've only been going through it for a year, so I'm by far nowhere near an expert, but the amount of stuff I've learned about just, when we go into different places, while it might be, we could go to a Dave & Buster's. It might be loud for you. It might be loud for me. It might be loud for Madeline. But for someone like Brooks, it's like he's walking into a rock concert combined with a fireworks show going off in his ears. It's absolutely killing him. It's so loud. So the different sensory things that you have to be aware of, that when kids are going through it, and every kid who has autism has different things that affect him or her differently. But for me to go ahead and have somebody in my life now to I can learn from and see the different needs that he has, and trying to make sure that he's okay, to bring awareness like we do on this show. If you're someone who either is going through a autism diagnosis, or you just want someone to talk to, or you want to educate me on things with an 8-year-old boy as to how the progression is going to go. Amanda's been going through it for her whole life. So she's an expert. And half the time I look to her and say, like, what will this be like? And she has a pretty good read for it. But, whenever I have a chance to talk about things, to kind of highlight it and talk about what happens in our lives day to day, I want to take a chance to do that. So this is a big month for a lot of families around the country who want to talk about neurodiversity as much as possible. And if you have a kid in your life who is neurodiverse, know that you're not alone, even though sometimes it can feel lonely for families because they get isolated and they don't feel like they have a community. So if you need it, I'm here at Sports Talk Matt. You guys can have conversations, reach out, and we can talk and just kind of vent about what's going on. I can tell you what I do, tell you what I'm learning, because I'm still learning every single day. Amanda's not here. I watched Brooks for the last 2 days, and it's pretty neat to kind of learn from the kid what the way he sees the world.
He gave us the best quote ever for the show. I asked him, Brooks, what do you think of the show? And he said, the show's weird. Like, you're right. It is weird.
And I put it on a t-shirt, literally, and he wears that t-shirt to school all the time.
Yeah.
It says Brooks Turner. I said, BVB, the show is weird.
It was weird.
It says Bostonian versus the book. So it's good stuff. So April 1st, more important than April Fools, is the start of Autism Awareness Month. I know that Golden Knights on the 10th of April is the Golden Knights Autism Awareness Night in Vegas. I know the Boston Celtics do one, and a lot of teams around the country do Autism Awareness Night. So this hat today is for Brooks. Guys, thanks for being here early. We appreciate it. No show tomorrow. Remember that. We're off tomorrow. We are back coming up on Thursday, same normal time. I'll be back in Vegas, and we'll be all good to go. Thank you for being here. He's Dave. I'm Matt. We're back Thursday for Thursday's BVB.